Just tell everyone no. No, because you can't. If I tell enough people no, it'll lead me to a totally different ending, which that'd be cool. But I'm not sure. Well, maybe. No sees you. That works for me. You must say no with a name like that. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see. Is it going to be a repeat or a disappointing? I don't care either way. I'm just happy to bring down the game to 2849. Nah, that's super cool. Yes, like that. Yada 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 yada. Yep. Yeah, she is the tutorial person. It's funny that, but again, it's cool that they have left like a way for like newer or like new players who've played this before and just starting a fresh file just to skip all this, which is neat. All right, the first split. It'll determine the rest of the run. That's gold. It's gold. I guess we're on world record pace now. We're on world record pace. It's official. Oh, look, it's Susan yelling for help. Susan literally is like the only, like the tragic figure they use for like every bad thing in this. Pretty sure like she's like one of like 3 female characters within this game. All right. Now I gotta remember we turn around. Yep. Why we do it? Because there's like a different cutscene that plays. Going through that. And you can just skip it by entering, leaving and entering. Next up, we're going to stab Dawn.
Hey.
Oh, didn't get the first hit.
Hey.
Oh god. Oh god, come on. Oh. Oh yeah, we yeah, the table 100%. Yeah. I do love this music. Like, the music's so good. The choir has a weird, like, taste in their songs. Like, you know it's a choir game when, like, you're in a Japanese world and you just start hearing, like, fucking electric guitars just soloing out of nowhere. Alright. Not so bad. And also, like, whenever, like, you're doing stuff like that, you're not, I wonder if we can just hold the left here. Nope. You're technically not targeting anyone, so you're kind of just attacking into the wind. So it just, you know, prevents you from supposedly hitting people you don't want to hit. But as you saw during that general fight, it's very finicky. There we go. So doing that skips like a dialogue box or two. Also just gives us the quick kill, I guess as they say. Yeah, put your revolver away. Yeah, Jose. I mean, you know, in a world with guns, you gotta stab. Oop. Alright. Get this little cutscene. Everyone's corrupt. All the families are corrupt. Only Dojima's not corrupt. Playing the game regularly, you would actually go Dojima to I wonder if he does like walk up to her with a blade out. Yep. Oh, hi. Help. We found even quicker strats. Let's go. Oh wait, we need to run. I know where we need to. Fuck. The new strats just run up to her with the blade out. Oh, that's good. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That saves me even more time now. 42 seconds. All right. Go to the right here, because if you walk towards the left over there, you will trigger that cutscene, and you might as well just end the run. Well, I mean, you don't have to end the run, but I don't know if it feels pretty. I don't think I'm going to beat the train. That sounded way too early. Oh no, okay, cool. Wow. Not bad, not bad. And no one up here to run into. Cool. Excuse me. Apologies. Apologies to to whoever may have to watch this for verification. I'm going to get good at not being hit by a train. Consistent. I should start having a counter. It's been this many attempts since I've been hit by a train. Yeah, I'll probably make it a command. I just have to like look into just like what the command programming will be. Oh. Hold on. Probably no Zuzu. I just honestly love the fact that like in a lot of this way the samurai games is like the quickest way to like be in the games is just pulling a blade out on everyone. Does he mean? Alright, so again, we're going to fight a ninja to hopefully grab his blade. And then we'll be taking on Igua. Oh my god. I saw the pun. Fuck you. Love you and fuck you. Alright, we got our blade. We attain ninja power, to quote the game. Oh, I need... Oh, there we go, finally. And boom. Alright, a little rough there. A little rough. Yeah, we gotta talk to father. It's equipped or... Damn it. Oh, it only has one. Useless. Useless. It's only good for this one thing we're doing right now. Besides that, it's a useless fucking blade. One. Let's see. I feel like my health bar is smaller, but that may be just because I have the one bar. of health right now, or the 1 bar of. Let's go. No, 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 no. Oh, that was close. That was too close for comfort. It almost got immediately used. It almost got immediately used. Yeah, it almost gave me a good pat on the ass. It like grazed. It grazed my cheeks. I'm no fool. What do you mean? The government? Why would they do that? Why would they ever do that? They want to take the pass. They want to take the pass. They only weaken each other. Damn politicians and their tricks. Imagine how much easier this game be if somehow we could get ourselves a gun. I think after this stream, I'm going to definitely like read some walkthroughs and see what's up. See if any of the walkthroughs have any like idea of what causes this section of the game, you know, to progress. Because it totally has to be like you had to cross like this area and then kill either X amount of people or a particular person. Which, if it's a particular person, we can make this. Oh my god, we can make this so much quicker. Because maybe the end, maybe it's just like tied to a person, which will make it so much easier just to like focus on or feel like you have an idea of when it's going to end. I will say they feel like I want to stay up here. That's a problem also, like they like to run around and the camera shifts. Oop. And you notice whenever your like ally is just like taking on like the guy that needs to be killed and just taking their sweet ass time. Is it when my partner runs out? God, Chelsea ran. I think she's stuck in that corner. No, she's. Oh, okay. I guess someone like spawns on the other side of that wall. That's what keeps happening. Oh god. Rada. There we go. Ooh, save 19 seconds. You got this. My main concerns at this point is A, keeping myself at 3 blade or 3 blade bar, or my main blade at 3 full bars by the time we get to the general. going to just go ahead and just bring the fight all the way over here. Gonna let... I'm so sorry for the lack of commentary. I'm just like zoned in. This is like the second Abe we've killed. Ooh, wow. Let's go. 15 seconds. Alright, and the worst one. The worst one. Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of like Deadly Premonition. Like in that game, they have a very ridiculous death animation or death sound. I think these guys are just so much tougher. Like this stab move I usually do usually gets rid of these guys out of the way. Oop. Oop. I need to try to grab some food along the way. I think once I like get rid of these three guys, you know what would be goofy? I doubt it. I doubt it is, but wouldn't it be funny if like the scene transitions depend on your teammates dying, or like how many people are left standing on your team? Like as long as you kill off your like dudes, the game will continue. They're just kind of waiting for them to just drop dead. Let's try bringing everyone up here because I haven't been up here. Come on, just follow me. Also because there's like food up here. I'm not too concerned about the food, honestly. If we can get it, that's cool, but there's plenty of radishes and turnips that we'll be definitely getting when we get to the main guy. Also, it's another thing of like, does my NPC... there we go. That's a nice little snack. Like, I'm really concerned that the fight's not more out there. Also, I'm wondering if it's like, maybe like, so many enemies need to like spawn in? Come on. Yeah, I think like I think they're radishes. Or no, turnips. The turnips are like a series staple. They're in every game. I think they're in the 4th game, even though that's like more non-farming. I like how I just... Oh my god, let's go! Ooh, that was our best time. Alright, we're almost there. Okay, we don't have to fight any of these guys. Did someone say daddy? Muggins, welcome! Welcome, welcome, welcome! You! We may be on another roll. Bringing this down quite a bit. He did that. You know what? He did say daddy. Or maybe dad. I don't know if he said daddy. That'd be goofy if that got translated. But the translation team asked about it and they were like, no, that's right. Daddy. Die. I love how we don't get hit with any of these bullets. But she gets shot. Avenge his daddy. Yeah, you're right. I'm avenging his daddy. You watch. Alright, so you have a full 3-blade life. Alright. Oh, come on. Come on. No! Stomp it, game! Oh. This game gets so bad with this fucking targeting system. As you can see, I'm as these like if I hit like some of the other guys, like they'll be the focus, which sucks. As you can. Oh, come on. Don't fall down there. He fell. Ooh, let's go. 2707. Ooh. New world record. We have shaved 4 minutes off. wait, is this yeah, this should be the ending 5. Yeah, okay, cool. I just want to make sure this is ending 5. Yeah, we have shaved about 5 minutes off the record, which was mine, but who cares? I'm just happy to bring this down even further. Damn. I was like, when coming back into this, I was not trying to like break records. I was just like, you know, gotta do this. You know, I gotta get back in the groove if I want to like do good. See Marine Princess. Do you want? I'm saving the splits though. 707. 2707. Damn. 2707's cool. That's dope. I think that's the first game. I think this is the first run that breaks the 30 minute barrier. So that's cool also. What else? want just checking my time and everything. Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to take a quick break. No problem, Spoop. Thank you so much for hanging out during it. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm pretty proud with that one. Pretty proud with that run. I think that run's going to stay for a moment. Brakes are for limb sharks. Damn.